Now that we've got a manageable list of search results, here's what I would do next. I usually start by skimming down the list of search results, kind of looking for anything that catches my eye or that seems useful, that seems like it might be connected to my research topic. I'm actually interested in this one, Expressive Arts and Mindfulness, Aiding Adolescents in Understanding and Managing Their Stress. So let's say I'm looking at art therapy, stress management, other kinds of self-management for issues related to mental health. So when you find a source that you might be interested in, you can click on it and go to the detailed record for that source. Remember, we're in a database, so we're basically looking at the library record for the source contained within the database. From here, we can actually download the full text of the source to our device or to print it, but there are lots of other useful things on this page as well. The main portion of the detailed record is, of course, the information about the source itself. So all of the required information like title of the article, authors listed, the publication that it was first published in, date of publication, all of those pieces that I need for my work cited page citation are right here on this detailed record screen. There's also other search or subject terms, other keywords. In this case, things like anxiety treatment, art therapy, psychology of middle school students. These can be useful if I'm stuck, where my search results are too narrow and I'm not sure what other search terms to use. I could try these search terms. Each of these is a link, and if I click on them, they'll take me to all of the records in the database that are connected to that subject term. But heading back to the record, the most useful element, I think, is the abstract. This is it right here. An abstract is an executive summary. It is a summary of the article, and to me, this is the most useful element because this is what helps me decide whether the article actually addresses my research topic, if it's going to be useful to me. Now, just because the abstract is here, sometimes they are pretty detailed, usually they're only about 300 words long, you should note. You do have to actually look at the article and read the whole article itself. You should not base your research or your essay on just what you find within the abstract. Instructors catch on to that pretty quickly. Here are some other things to know. If I'm looking at the right-hand side of the screen, there are a bunch of links and they look pretty useful. Google Drive, add to folder, print, email, and so on. It's important to know that these links apply to the record itself. So if I click Save, it will save a copy of just the information in the detailed record. If I click Print, it will just print a copy of the detailed record. If I want to actually save, print, or read the article itself, I have to use this link over here, which we're going to look at in just a second. These can be useful if you're trying to come up with a quick list of potential resources to come back to. You can click Add to Folder and it will start building a list, sort of like quickly bookmarking items within the database that you might be interested in coming back to. The most useful thing here, however, is Permalink. When you click that, you'll see this pop up, Permalink, and there'll be a little window here where you can highlight the URL to copy and then paste it into a document or into your works cited page. Permalink is the link that you want to use if you're putting this into your search strategy document or trying to write your citation. This is the link that will take you directly to the item within the database, as long as you're logged into the database. If you take a look at the link that's found in the address bar of your browser, you'll notice that it is full of garbage, basically. That's a temporary link that is generated with a bunch of temporary information. It will expire after your library session ends or when you close your browser. If you try to use that link to get back to this page, you'll just get an error message. So you want the permalink to get back to this page. Now, how do you access the item itself? Well, because we had full text search turned on, we have a full text link. Usually it will say PDF full text. Sometimes there's an HTML link, but when I click on that, you can see that it opens up the whole article. I can download it, I can print it, I can read it here on my screen. If I have the HTML option, I can click to read it and use my browser's print function to print or save it. So that's the link from the detailed record that I want if I'm going to read the article itself. There's one last thing that I want to show you when it comes to what you might see in your results list, and that is a search result that has this yellow Find It button. When I click on the title in the search results list, I get to the detailed record just like before. But instead of saying PDF, full text, or HTML, I have this yellow Find It button. This is a little bit like gambling. So if I click this button, in this case, it's going to open up this outside search, and then I can click full text from OhioLink. So in this case, I can access the article, but I have to take a few extra steps. What the Find It button means is this article exists in full text in some database somewhere, it's just not in Academic Search Complete. Now, sometimes we can get these and sometimes not. So in this case, we were lucky. We were able to eventually leapfrog our way to this article. Other times when you click this, you'll get an error message. If that happens, you can do one of two things. You can either just go look for another source, one that you have full access to, or you can contact the library to give them all of the source information, author, title, date, and so on, and they may be able to access it elsewhere. Usually, though, the easiest way is to just find another source. And that's it. You know the basics, and now all you have to do is have fun. Explore the databases, try to use search terms that you have within your research questions or in your free writing. Perhaps they're search terms that came up when you were discussing with your peers or instructor, but now you have access to all the wide variety of academic knowledge, so explore.